Warning: the following video that you're about to watch is owned by one Mikey19. If this video is uploaded on another YouTube channel, any video, whether it be a small clip or any of my reviews, it will be flagged down by me if I see it without my permission. Thank you. You may now enjoy the show. Hey guys, one Mikey19 here, and today's video is all about one simple question. Are there too many streaming services? And to answer that question, yes, there are. We have several streaming services coming out. I mean, we already have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, YouTube Premium. Heck, we even had Yahoo Screen for a while, which was later switched to Yahoo View before they decommissioned it this past summer. And now Yahoo doesn't have a streaming service anymore. Now they're coming out with several streaming services like Disney Plus, which launches on November 12th, HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, and Peacock. And I'm about to talk about some of their upcoming programming. I'll start with Disney Plus. Some of Disney Plus's upcoming programming is pretty interesting for me. They have a High School Musical show coming. They have a show called Diary of a Female President, a Monsters Inc. sequel show called Monsters at Work. I love Monsters Inc., so I'm definitely going to check this show out, and several new Marvel superhero shows. But the best news that really interested me is the Lizzie McGuire revival. I love Lizzie McGuire because it tells the story of a teenage girl's perspective. With Andy Mack done, series creator Terry Minsky is back on board working on it, and Hilary Duff will reprise her role as Lizzie McGuire herself. In the revival, Lizzie McGuire is a 30-year-old millennial navigating life in New York City. Like the original series, it will include the familiar animated version of a young Lizzie who offers funny, revealing commentary on what 30-year-old Lizzie is really thinking. Hilary Duff is a series regular on Daring Star's hit TV Land comedy series, Younger, which was recently renewed for a 7th season. Under a waiver granted by TV Land, Duff will be able to do both Younger and Lizzie McGuire, so that should be interesting. Other shows from Disney Plus include Love, Simon, which is based off the movie, and a show by Jeff Goldblum called The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which I'm going to say reminds me of Bill Nye the Science Guy. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Plus, we have a Proud Family revival coming. I never saw the Proud Family growing up, but hopefully I'll get into it before the show returns, so we'll see. Anyways, we move on to HBO Max, which is scheduled to release in the spring of 2020. Some of their upcoming programming include The Flight Attendant, which stars Kaley Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory, a revival of The Boondocks, hell yes! Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai, an animated series which serves as a prequel to the classic 1984 Gremlins movie, Little Ellen, which is produced by Ellen DeGeneres, new Looney Tunes cartoons, and a Gossip Girl sequel show. Now, before I get to the rest, I want to talk about a show that's been running for almost 50 years, and that show is Sesame Street. Now, Sesame Street was a major part of everybody's childhood. I used to watch it when it aired on PBS, and then moved to HBO a few years ago, and will now be moving to HBO Max in part of a 5-year deal with Sesame Workshop, starting with its 51st season next year. Yes, so we get to see more Big Bird, Elmo, Cookie Monster, Grover, Abby Cadabby, Zoe, Rosita, Oscar the Grouch, and many others on the streaming service. And speaking of Elmo, they announced that Elmo will be staying up late to host the Not Too Late Show with Elmo, which is a talk show format starring Elmo with special celebrity guests. This should be interesting for Elmo to host his very own late night talk show like Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and James Corden. Here is a list of the new Sesame Street content included in the HBO Max deal. 5 new 35 episode seasons of Sesame Street, which will take them to season 55. New annual Sesame Street specials, kicking up with the monster at the end of this show, an animated version of the acclaimed The Monster at the end of this book, a family-centric live-action take on a late-night talk show, the Not Too Late Show with Elmo, featuring Sesame Street's celebrity friends, a second season of the award-winning animated Esme and Roy, as well as the previous season, which was produced for HBO, 2 animated series, the first a spin-off of Sesame Street called Mecha Builders, featuring favorite Sesame Street characters as heroes in a robot animation style, and the second series to be announced at a later date. A new docuseries that will explore key issues for kids and families, building on Sesame Workshop's expertise in tackling difficult issues from a child's perspective. With Sesame Workshop having a deal with HBO, they are currently housing shows like previous seasons of Sesame Street, Pinky Dinky Doo, which was originally produced for Noggin, now Nick Jr., and the Electric Company reboot from 2009. If there's one show that HBO doesn't carry from Sesame Workshop, it's Dragon Tales. I don't know why they didn't include that show on HBO. An HBO Max reboot would be great though, but it's highly unlikely that we'll get to see one. But we'll see what happens. You'll never know. Also, with the success of Fuller House on Netflix, which is nearing the end of its run after 5 seasons, I hear that HBO Max is in talks to reboot classic TGIF sitcoms from ABC, such as Perfect Strangers, Family Matters, and Step by Step. That would be awesome if they rebooted at least one of these shows. Reginald VelJohnson, who played Carl Winslow on Family Matters, says that he'll totally be up for it if they rebooted Family Matters. I also would love to see Jo Marie Payton reprise her role as Harriet Winslow because I didn't like the other woman that played Harriet in the second half of the final season. It would have been better if she wasn't recast because Jo Marie is Harriet and she nails the role very well, but I guess we'll see what happens. Plus, the recent news on a Grease sequel series, which was just picked up recently. I'm a huge Grease fanatic as I loved all the songs from the movie. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John nailed their roles very well, and hopefully we'll see some cameos from at least some original cast members like Didi Conn, who played Frenchie, Barry Pearl, who played Duty, and Stockard Channing, who played Rizzo. Anyways, what would you like to see happen in the Grease show? Let me know in the comments. And that's pretty much what I have to say for HBO. On second thought, maybe not. But I'll save that for another day. Now let's get to Apple TV Plus, which is set to be released next week. Now, Apple TV Plus only has 2 shows that I'm looking forward to. One of these shows is a reboot of the classic PBS Kids series Ghost Rider, which aired for 3 seasons from 1992 to 1995. The reboot is produced by J.J. Johnson and Kristen Sims, the creators of Dino Dan and Androids, along with Andrew Orenstein, executive producer and head writer of Just That Magic, and will be produced by Sesame Workshop and Sinking Ship Entertainment. I'm really looking forward to it. The next show I'm looking forward to is Snoopy in Space. I'm a huge fan of Peanuts and Charles Schulz's work. I always loved the Peanut specials like A Charlie Brown Christmas, A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. And it's pretty interesting that they're sending Snoopy to space in this show. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking it out. Finally, let's get to Peacock. Peacock has 2 reboots in the works. Peacock has a Punky Brewster reboot and a Saved by the Bell reboot, and both have been picked up to series. Let's talk about the Punky Brewster reboot first. In the reboot, Punky is now a single mother of 3 trying to get her life back on track when she meets a young girl who reminds her a lot of her younger self. Soleil Moon Frye is set to reprise her role as Punky Brewster herself, and Steve and Jim Armagida, the creators of School of Rock, will serve as executive producers and head writers, so I'm really looking forward to it. Now let's get to the Saved by the Bell reboot. I'm a huge Saved by the Bell fan, and I'm very excited to see Mario Lopez and Elizabeth Berkley back on board to reprise their roles as AC Slater and Jesse Spano, respectively. The reboot will find California Governor Zach Morris, played by Mark Paul Gosselaar, in hot water for closing too many low-income high schools when he suggests sending the affected students to the highest performing schools in the state, including Bayside High. The influx of new students gives the overprivileged Bayside kids a much needed and hilarious dose of reality. Tracy Wakefield, executive producer of 30 Rock and the creator of Great News, will serve as executive producer and head writer, along with Peter Engel, the original executive producer and head writer of the original show. Although I'm very sad that Mark Paul Gosselaar and Tiffany Tyson won't be back to reprise their roles because the reboot has nothing to do with their characters. Wait, what? A Saved by the Bell reboot without Zach Morris and Kelly Kapowski? Come on! But it's understandable. Tiffany explained that she's been working on Alexa and Katie, which has been on Netflix for the past couple of years, and season 3 actually premieres at the end of December. And Mark has a new show called Mixed-ish, which is a spinoff of both Blackish and Grownish. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to this reboot, but I'm upset that Zach Morris isn't going to be on it, even though it said that it was going to be about him, but it's alright, I guess. So that pretty much sums up everything I have to say. What are your thoughts on the upcoming streaming services? And are you excited for any of the new shows coming up? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I'm OneMikey19, and I'm signing out.
When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gets out of warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the bell.